Barcelona is popping this time of year, folks. Why? Because a major tech event just ended there, and boy, do we have something to show you. Also, in this episode, figure robot at the BMW factory versus Chinese humanoid workers. Who done it best? And if you ever feel like you want to be cuddly Dudley, then Toyota got your back. I'm Nick, and today we're looking straight into the future. Let's get it. But first, if you watch our videos regularly, you know we do giveaways with awesome prizes. Watch this video to the end to find out if you are the winner of our previous giveaway, and be sure to keep your eyes peeled for our next video, since we are going to announce yet another contest with a $50 prize for just a few simple steps. Have your thumb on the pulse of Pro Robot's channel and win. And now, back to the program. Miss out on Mobile World Congress Barcelona, miss out on the next 12 months. That's what MWC 2024 prides itself on, the largest and most influential event for connectivity ecosystems. And guess what? As always, we got our eyes on the prize. You might ask, what do robots have to do with a connectivity event? Well, without robots and artificial intelligence, no exhibition can be considered high-tech. Agreed or agreed? There's plenty to go through from the event, so much so that we'll tell you about Samsung's smart rings in the next video. But for now, the star of MWC 2024 was the Amica robot that recently learned to copy voices of celebrities. And earlier, it was able to speak several languages and translate what was said thanks to built-in ChatGPT.
I'm having an excellent time. Sadly, I've been bolted to the ground, which means I'm not able to wander around and look at all the amazing things.
Also on display was Technodynamic One Robot Dog, a virtual assistant based on generative AI, and in an interesting physical embodiment, Hyodoll robot dolls for supporting the elderly. I bet someone is going to order that in Chucky. And then, of course, a flying car concept from Aleph Aeronautics, which according to the company spokesperson is due to go into production in 2025. And this was probably the most unusual exhibit at the show. The Model A can drive on the ground and fly through the air, looking exactly like the futuristic vehicles of the future from Fifth Element. Multipass. The electric car takes off using two propellers located instead of the hood and the trunk. This design, in fact, adds the functionality of a giant drone to the electric car, and according to the developers, controlling the car in the air is as easy as a regular commercial drone. The car is 16 feet or 5 meters long and 6 feet or 2 meters wide. It's only 850 pounds or 385 kilos, as the body is made of carbon fiber. A full battery charge should be enough for 200 miles or 320 kilometers on the ground and 100 miles or 170 kilometers in flight. Unfortunately, the Model A's airspeed is limited to only 100 miles or 170 kilometers per hour, while on the ground to only 35 miles or 60 kilometers per hour. This restriction had to be imposed so that the car can be legally classified as an ultralight, low-speed vehicle. The company has already taken pre-orders for the two-seater, which costs 300 large ones. Let's take a vote in the comments. Is it yay or nay for Model A? Post them and let us know what you think. And if you haven't heard, Apple Car is canceled. The company has shut down its long-delayed project, jumping back and forth between unmanned vehicles and electric car concepts. Am I the only one who thinks Steve Jobs would have solved this like it's no biggie? Tesla and Waymo wouldn't have stood a chance. Lest we forget, the Newton message pad that sat on the shelf for 20 years until, voila, it became the iPad. So in the words of Crystal Method, there is hope. Electric Sheep unveiled a fun artificial intelligence gardening robot called Verdi. At least it was intended to be fun, as its design was inspired by the likes of WALL-E and R2-D2 robots. The main advantage of Verdi is its brains. Developers say upon slight modification, it can work with any garden power tool. As for the robot's brain, the ES1 AI model is responsible for it. Thanks to this brain, the robot undergoes preliminary training in unusually photorealistic modeled parks, where the same conditions and potential problems lurk as in the real world. The system continuously adds to its pre-trained knowledge pool by learning from real outdoor scenarios. As for the robot's specific abilities, it sees its surroundings thanks to a map created with a stereo camera, detects and avoids all obstacles in its path, and maintains its balance in any situation while continuing to perform its tasks. Nick's personal take on Verdi: golf course owners are going to love it. Toyota Research Institute unveiled their newest robot. This soft, humanoid Toyota Punyo is designed to gently hug and carry bulky objects with its whole body as a human does. Really cute and friendly looking robot is dressed in a big cozy sweater made of specialized materials filled with tactile sensors. These help Punyo feel exactly what he's hugging, whether it's a person or an object he's carrying. The robot has large soft paws, as the engineers themselves call them, consisting of 13 air-filled chambers with adjusted pressure. They end in inflatable pads with a dot pattern inside controlled by the chambers. When the robot touches something, the pattern deforms and Punyo understands what it touched. Engineers are training Punyo to handle a number of different large objects using teleoperation. Sometimes the robot needs to lean forward to pick an item, sometimes lean backwards, and sometimes throw it over its shoulder. Developers also tested out putting things in the robot's hands and watching it rearrange them to hold them better. In September of 2023, Toyota was one of the first companies to demonstrate robot training through a demonstration. The robots were given several examples of how to perform dozens of different cooking tasks. The robots then tried to replicate human actions in a simulated environment for several hours. Afterwards, they demonstrated the learned skill in real life. Punyo uses the same learning process, but with an added element, a twist, if you will. Engineers rank variables for the robot, prioritizing accuracy, speed, or efficiency in different tasks. What do you think of the Japanese robot, and which robot would you be more likely to let into your house? Optimus, Tesla, or Punyo? Folks, just a side note, feel free to write comments. We regularly hold giveaways with small but nice gifts among those who leave their opinions under our videos, because we read through all of them and that's how we get better. So subscribe to the channel and get all the latest releases from the world of high tech. The company Figure rolled out two pieces of news at once. First, they've revealed exactly what their Robot 01 will be doing in the BMW factories, and it's somewhat disappointing because we expected more than just dragging containers from one place to another. We were hoping for more responsible and interesting tasks. On the other hand, it's probably the first thing every humanoid robot should actually learn. Figure trains its robots using two methods: teleoperation followed by additional training in a simulation, and demonstration, the skills of which are also processed in a simulation. Using demonstration, the company taught a robot how to brew coffee. But production tasks, including dragging boxes, are taught using the former and so far more reliable method. The robot in the video acts completely autonomously. What does that mean? Once the robot has been switched on, it locates the container, decides how best to grasp it, picks it up, and moves it to the right place. It does all this at a speed equal to 1/6 of a human speed. Another thing worth mentioning about this video, here the robot receives information about its environment from cameras around it. In the future, all perception of the robot should be contained within its body. Then, if you throw a bowling ball into its basket, the robot will simply drop it and most likely fall on top, and maybe even break its fragile fingers. The company's engineers do not hide any of this, but they assure us that gradually, bit by bit, all robots will learn to perform a large enough range of tasks, especially since they're helped by the constantly developing AI and the principle of collective learning, where the skills of one robot immediately spread to the whole group. Kind of like 100th monkey effect, but, robots. This contributed to the second piece of news from the company, namely that Figure has just received a whopping $675 million injection from investors such as Microsoft, OpenAI Startup Fund, NVIDIA, Jeff Bezos, Intel Capital, and others. The money will be used to expand AI training, produce robots, increase its engineering staff, and ramp up efforts on new commercial applications. And all this to please factory owners with cheap labor force that doesn't need vacations and sick days. Guess what? We got our crystal ball out, looked into the future to see where this is going, and we'll tell you in our following videos. Go figure! Four-legged robots are used more and more in a variety of scenarios, from inspections to rescue operations. But to extend its functionality of a machine like this, it often needs an assisting arm, a grapple attached to the bot's back. However, this complicates design and control, increases weight, and makes the machine more expensive. Therefore, engineers from Robotic Systems Lab decided to see what their robot dog can perform with its own legs. It turned out quite a bit. The developers used a reinforcement learning policy and demonstrated the robot's capabilities. For example, it can open doors and carry bags. Judging by the video, we perhaps somewhat underestimated four-legged robots, so that you don't have to. If you're looking to buy yourself a robot for any type of occasion, check out our website in the description below and let us know which one you like. Meanwhile, in China, the Walker S robot created by UB Robotics is already working at one of the factories of an electric car manufacturer, NIO. And it's not just dragging empty boxes, but also performs quality control tasks. The robot checks the quality of door locks, seat belts, headlights, and also attaches nameplates to the hood of the car. So far, it looks more like initial testing or training than serious work. Chinese manufacturers unfortunately do not like to reveal the background of their research. Therefore, specs-wise, we can only guess. For example, the basic Walker model, which has been around for several years now, is 5 feet or 145 centimeters tall and weighs 170 pounds or 77 kilos. It's positioned as a domestic helper and can work autonomously for approximately 2 hours. The robot has quite advanced perception and handling capabilities. However, its training and autonomy remains a mystery. But once we know, you'll know. Uber Eats delivery robots have made their way to Japan. They're expected to appear on the sidewalks of Tokyo as early as end of March this year. And this is the first international expansion of Uber's autonomous delivery service. The six-wheeled robot couriers are developed and manufactured by Cartken, a company based in Oakland, which is also responsible for the robot's intelligence, while Mitsubishi Electric will oversee operations in Japan. Hi. Researchers from Qingdao University in China have developed a touch sensor for smart robot skin that will allow them to recognize objects from a distance of 4 inches or 10 centimeters. The secret is the material's hypersensitivity to electric fields. The future skin for robots is printed on a 3D printer. It's a composite film that scientists have combined in the form of a grid graphite carbon nitride with polydimethylsiloxane. These materials are characterized by high dielectric permittivity, the ability to store electric energy in an electric field. At the same time, the composite has a low permeability, and therefore the sensor is sensitive to electric fields. In a series of experiments, the sensor was able to see the fingers of the engineers themselves from a distance of 0.2 inches or 0.5 centimeters to 4 inches or 10 centimeters, recognizing not only their shape, but also the movements. Scientists then created the smart skin itself by integrating the sensors into printed circuit boards. It seems that such a skin could help robots recognize objects and avoid obstacles. What do you guys think? The world's first intercity air cab flight took place in China. The flight from Shenzhen to Zhuhai via the Pearl River Delta took only 20 minutes for Autoflight's 5-seater. By comparison, a similar trip by car would have taken 3 hours. Chinese media emphasized that the flight took place in difficult conditions near several international airports as well as densely populated areas with over 86 million residents that live there. The flight path is one of 100 eVTOL aircraft routes that local authorities are developing as a part of an extensive low-altitude economy quote-unquote strategy. Interestingly, the flight was unmanned and fully autonomous. However, official certification of crewed intercity passenger flights in China is only expected in 2 years. Low-altitude application scenarios will include passenger transportation, tourism, logistics, and emergency services in the short term. The PRC is developing plans for 300,000 cargo UAV flights in the region per year. Bezos, your move. Speaking of moves, we got one for you. Our random comment picker from our previous giveaway chose a winner. And the $50 certificate goes to The user with the name CanDonkey349. Congratulations, CanDonkey, to you and your wife for getting the right answer to the question, what was the movie that starred a famous Scientologist and shared a canny resemblance to the AI telepathy piece from Osaka University? Please, user CanDonkey349, send us an email found in the description so that we can send you your certificate. By the way, there was a total of 30-something comments. Unfortunately, only 2 comments under that video followed the rules of the giveaway. So, if you want to have the chance to be selected by the random comment picker for $50, then pay close attention to the rules and be on the lookout for our next video. There's more, but we're out of time. Hit that subscribe button and join us on Telegram for more content to keep up with the world of high tech.